So Aja Wilson was asked about the rebounding record, and a lot of people are taking this as a shot at one Angel Reese, and I don't necessarily think that it is. Like, I think a lot of people, I can see how they see it like that. I really can. Like, a lot of people calling her out for that, but I can definitely see why people think it is. Like, even in the context, if you're saying, oh, it's out of context, just look at the quote. No, if you watch the thing, it is basically her. She basically was just like, why are you asking me about rebounding? I don't care. Rebound. She said, record for what? Rebounds. Oh, that's cool. I don't hunt rebounds, so it's not something that's always on my mind. And to be fair to her, she kind of has a point. Like Becky Hammond was laughing, is like, oh, I won't say she just goes, I'm 6'4" and I stand near the basket. Of course, I'm gonna get rebounds. Like, she was just laughing about that. She's like, you actually just brought up rebounds, and I think that in any other season, maybe she would have cared more about this, but not the season where she broke the points record. Like, she broke the points record, and instead of asking her about the points, other things, I think she set like the highest PER in the history of basketball, men or women, for a season. And look, I don't know if I think maybe it's a Becky. But to be fair, the way that the Aces are looking, I hate that I wrote them off. I really hate that I wrote them off because I still don't think they make the finals. I think the Liberty are just better than them. And we also have to take into account that they struggled against the Liberty. They struggled against the Lynx, who are the two best teams. They were not good against either of those teams this year. I think they were, 1-3 against the Lynx and 0-3 against the Liberty. I think they beat either of those teams. But, man, this Aces team's starting to play well. Look, I think nobody wants to be the person to not vote Aja Wilson MVP. I think that it would... I thought initially it's not going to be unanimous, but I think nobody wants to be that person. No one wants to be the person. All this talk about unanimous. This is not like the dude that voted for Melo over LeBron in 2013, where he just assumed that he wasn't going to be the only one. But like, we are now looking at a situation where I think not only was the media from day one saying it had to be unanimous, I think at this stage, I think it's hard to argue against her being MVP. I think with them as potential as one game off the third seed, I think it's hard to argue Fia over her because, again, you're looking at team success rather than the greatest individual season statistically that the WNBA has seen. It would be like, this might end up being like if they go and somehow lose to the Storm in the first round of the playoffs, or like they get smoked and then if they get smoked in the playoffs, or they somehow end up in 3 and lose to Indiana. And because a lot of the time people judge the MVP of the regular season based on their postseason success. Like, Joel Embiid was great in the regular season when he played. So, but because he was bad in the postseason, a lot of people were like, oh, Jokic deserves it. When reality was, no, Embiid deserved that regular season MVP. But I think it's going to be like that, where her playoff success will determine how the season is portrayed, because we saw like the Westbrook, no one was questioning Westbrook in 2017, but like 5 years down the line, and he has 4 triple-double years, everyone's like, well, we don't care about that anymore. It is going to be interesting to see how history looks at this, but I don't think she gives a damn about the rebounds. I really don't. It took her 3 more games than Angel Reese or something to get it. Like, the rightful rebound per game leader is Angel Reese. Like, there's no question about that. Like, I don't think, and not only that, I don't think Angel Wilson cares. I don't think she cares that she's led the WNBA she set the record for rebounding. I don't think this is a shot at Angel. I think Angel Reese cares about rebounds, because you can tell, because even when there is a 50-50 ball there to be won, but even between Aja Wilson and Angel Reese is going to win it. There's nobody that cares more about rebounds. And I'm not saying that as a negative thing. I'm saying that she just wants it more. Aja Wilson, as she said, she is 6'4" and stands near the basket. She is a rim protector. She is standing near the basket, and there are quite a lot of missed shots. She plays a lot of minutes. Like, she's able to go after the ball. Like, she's not the greatest offensive rebounder in the world. A lot of her rebounds are the ball landing into her hand, And that's not to say she's not a good rebounder. That's just to say, like, if you are watching the game, she doesn't look like some dominant rebounder like Angel Reese is, where she might get 3 offensive boards on a possession. But at the same time, like, I can see why people think this is a shock, but I don't think she's trying to say rebounds don't matter in general. I think she's trying to say rebounds don't matter to her, which, in fairness, I can pretty much guarantee. I can guarantee you that rebounds do not matter. Rebounding numbers do not matter in any way to the only player to ever score over 1,000 points in a W season. Again, that's going to be broken soon. Like, we've got 3 new expansion teams coming in the next 2 years. What are we probably going to look at 50-game seasons? It's going to be interesting, though, with 50-game seasons. Like, are they going to have to start the season in March or something? Like, a 50-game season can be very, like, trying to fit that in. Like, even during the Olympic break, that was only, what, not even was it a month? A month break and adding 10 extra games in a month. Maybe you could do that. Maybe you could start the season when they started this season, early May, and go all the way through till October, but it's a long season. Like, it's a real long season if you go and do that. But look, records are there to be broken. AJ Wilson's 1,000-point record is going to be broken because of the extra games. And I'm not sure when her points per game average will be broken. Like, I think of current players in the WNBA, the only people that have the ability and the circumstances to average 27 a game are Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark. As far as Arike is concerned, I think Arike is going to have too many, like, 12-point games on 14 shots. I think she's going to have too many of those games. And I think she's not. I think when we're looking at it, I think maybe Kelsey Mitchell next season could average close to 26, 27. If there are extra games next season, Kelsey Mitchell could take that record. And I think they're probably the only players that could do it in the current WNBA. And then we're looking at, say, players down the line. I have no doubt about it that Juju Watkins is going to be thereabouts 25 points a game at some stage. But you just never know, like, when it comes to college. Because we're saying that about Juju, we can't forget, like, what Kelsey Plum did in college. And to be fair, if you put Kelsey Plum beside Caitlin Clark, she'd probably average close to 25 a game. Either way, that's the focus of AJ. AJ's focused on winning a championship and scoring. I don't think she cares about rebounds. And that's all it was. It was her basically saying, it's like, why are you asking me about this? Not rebounds don't matter to anyone. It's, of all the things I'm doing this year, of all the records I'm breaking, you are asking me about the rebounding one that I only broke because the person who was going to break it got injured. Either way, I think that's more of a, like, confusion towards the reporter than it is a knock for injury, like a shot at injuries. But at the same time, I can kind of see why people think it is.